My boss fired me in front of the whole office. But I knew something he didn't. I worked at this company for 3 years. I built their entire client database, handled sales, and even trained new people. One day, a new manager came in. He didn't like me. No reason, just ego, power, whatever. A week later, he fired me. In public. No warning. No thank you. Just gone. But here's what he forgot, that client database I built? It was never backed up. I left quietly. No drama. No emails. But within 3 days, they started calling me in panic. Clients were leaving. Orders were delayed. Sales collapsed. I didn't respond. After 7 days, boom. The company folded. The CEO fired the manager who fired me. Now I freelance. I work with some of those same clients, but on my own terms. Sometimes revenge is just letting people fail without you.
Coworker tried to get me fired over breast implants, so I pulled a reverse Uno card. Coworker harassed me over having implants, which I only got because I had cancerous cells. I called her out. She reported me to HR for calling her out. I got a bunch of people to write statements of all the times she harassed me and she got fired instead. Also, I've been told that isn't what a reverse Uno is, but I can't change it. Just want to add that regardless of my reasons for getting implants, I still should not have been harassed over them. Jill is a real idiot. She tried to get ahead at my expense and do something bad. I don't even know why she needed it. 4 years ago now, when I was 24, my mom died of breast cancer, and as both my grandmothers had also died of it, I saw a specialist for a screening. I found out I had some cells in one of my breasts that could have turned cancerous at any given moment. I went for the bilateral mastectomy. It was admittedly the most drastic option, but after seeing what cancer did to my mom and grandmothers, I didn't want to risk it. In the present day, I'm 28 years old and working in an office. I'm doing a lot better than I was. My coworker, Jill, found out I'd had a boob job, but not about the cancer thing. When myself and my friend from years before the mastectomy were planning a holiday, and she made a joke about me going on a plane with my implants, and Jill overheard. By the end of the day, the entire office knew I'd had a boob job, but not why, and half a dozen people confirmed Jill had told them. Over the next few months, Jill made many jokes and comments about my chest to coworkers when I was in earshot, at one point saying I had more plastic than Barbie, and calling me fake in 2 ways. I didn't hear this one myself, but a friend in the office told me that Jill had at one point referred to me as a sack of silicone. I asked her to stop more than once, but unfortunately the places I talked to her were places like the lift and the women's bathroom, where there weren't any cameras, and Jill just kept making comments no matter how often I asked her not to. I wouldn't say it was every single day, but I heard at least 3 comments per week for 3 months. I hit my breaking point when me, Jill and a few other coworkers were having lunch. I referred to something as being shallow and Jill said, "You'd know all about being shallow," while gesturing to my chest. I snapped. In the end, I had to tell her the story. I told her why I had to get implants. I told her that I might have cancer. So maybe next time you want to judge someone for having cosmetic surgery, you should ask them why they had it first. And feeling like that was a mic drop moment, I picked up my food and left. For the rest of the day, I had about 1/3 of my office come up to me and offer support, and the rest tell me that Jill was just joking around and I was being a bitch. I replied that Jill was being a bitch long before I was. I then got an email from HR saying they wanted to talk to me the following day, and when I called for clarification they mentioned a hostile work environment. Note, this is apparently an American term and holds little weight in England, but it's what was said over the phone. I knew the person who signed off the email and I'd spoken to. Her name was Debbie, and she was Jill's friend in HR, so I was fairly confident on who had reported me. I realized that if this was already being sent to HR, I needed as much ammunition as possible, so I went about collecting my information. Then I messaged the people who had offered their support over Facebook, and said basically, HR have asked to see me. Do any of you remember Jill insulting me to your face, and are you willing to write and sign something saying what you heard and when? Not everyone was willing to help, as Jill is somewhat feared in the office due to her befriending HR and management, but about 20 people were willing to help me. I wound up with about 16 letters, all from different people, and one of them was in the lunchroom for my conversation with Jill. Some even had bullet-pointed lists of everything Jill had said to them about me or other people. As it turns out, Jill has issues with a lot of people's appearances. She apparently made comments about one coworker's weight, and something anti-Semitic about a different coworker's nose, all of which were put in these letters. There are about 45 people in the office, so while 16 wasn't a majority, it's still a decent amount. The letters weren't hugely long, most were only a paragraph, but they had all the necessary information. I was asked to come to HR at 10 a.m. I took the letters from coworkers, the photocopy of the page in my contract, and my dates and times in a little folder with me. I got there and Debbie was the one overseeing the interview. She got up from her desk, ready to lead me into another room. I immediately asked the boss to replace the person who would review my case. Since they were friends and I knew the outcome, they replaced the person and I showed them all the complaints about Jill. They asked me why I hadn't told them anything for so long and what problems I had with her. I said that I had no problems with her, but she did. In the end, they let me go and said that they would review my case. I had already started looking for a new job, since I was sure that I would be fired. But they called Jill. After 30 minutes she came to the office and started packing her things and staring at me. Then I realized that she had screwed up, and I had screwed up.